receiving its marching orders from South Africa's first citizen in preparation for lockdown earlier on. Police officers and private security guards have also received their orders and are ready to enforce lockdown rules. Let's return now to Mary Fitzgerald Square in downtown Johannesburg. My colleague Gillian Pillay is still there. So it's a long night for many of those frontline staff, and that includes you, Gillian. So tell us what has happened since the last time you spoke to Aldrin earlier.
So a short while ago, the actual parade kicked off here at Mary Fitzgerald Square, Tsepiso, and that reason being that we were waiting for the SANDF soldiers to join these men in blue together with JMPD officers, together with the Gauteng traffic police. They are going to move into the streets of Johannesburg in a little while from now. When that lockdown kicks off, they are going to move into the streets, they're going to move onto the highways, they're going to go to those hotspot areas. We know that they have broken themselves up into 3 groups. One group is going to Alexandra, one group is going into Hillbrow, and another group is going into the CBD. And a short while ago, the General Marsha addressed the troops here, just telling them what is expected of them as they take to the streets tonight, giving them some sort of support and encouragement, telling them also, that a heavy task hangs or rests on their shoulders to enforce a mandate that was given to them by the president, but also talking about different scenarios that might also unfold in the next 21 days and how to handle that. But just to give us a sense of the kind of support that the teams here on the ground, the soldiers here on the ground was given. I'm joined by General Marsha. General Marsha, just talk to us about why is it important that you address these troops before they take into the city of Johannesburg, knowing that this is the epicenter and we need to bring the infection levels down.
Thank you very much. It is important that you address our members, and there should be no ambiguity. It must be clear what needs to be done so that people know where they are and we know where we stand. We cannot allow any mishaps. We must make sure that we enforce the law to the letter, because one death is one death too many. So we need to ensure that our people are in place. We need to ensure that we enforce the law to the letter. We need to ensure that when we say a lockdown, it is a lockdown and everybody is abiding by the law to preserve our lives, the lives that we can preserve. We don't want to lose any.
Are there any scenarios you're anticipating in particular areas that you are going to send, that you are, that are hotspots?
Yeah, as you said earlier, we're going to go to Hillbrow, Alexander in the CBD, but we also know the whole of Johannesburg, everywhere, police are in place to ensure that we enforce. But here we know that Hillbrow, there's hotspots where people have taverns and they still not really listening. That tonight is not going to happen. If we find a shipping owner, no, we're not going to want them. We're going to lock them up, and then we're going to make sure that we don't even give them bail. They'll have to appear in court on Monday. When we live here, we lock up everyone, we enforce the law. Nobody will be allowed in the street, of course, unless they have the valid reason to be in the street.
Let's talk about Alexandra. It's a very densely populated informal settlement. What type of scenarios are you expecting from an area like that?
Well, I think that the main thing we're looking at is people that might just walking about like nothing is happening. People who think like it's normal. That's what is happening, because Alexander is compacted, but people are used to going about, and our mere presence, especially with the army, is to say we are here, and everybody must make sure that they run indoors. We will not allow anyone to be in the street. They don't have like big shebeens, smaller shebeens, but do not allow them to be open. But most important of all, especially Alexander, everybody must indoor. The street must be deserted. Nobody must be in the street.
So it is business unusual from this point onwards, but also what task rests on the shoulders of these troops that you have given your support to?
The task that is here today is this is not business as usual. We are dealing with a very serious virus called corona, and you cannot take any chance. We will ensure that our people know that you are safe and assure them, and our members also will make sure that we enforce the law and everybody know this is not business as usual and everybody must abide by the law. If you find everybody violating, we'll enforce the law vigorously.
Talk to us about the SANDF soldiers that will be joining these men and women here.
Yes, they will be giving us the support. You'll be the ones that will be doing the stop and searches. Remember, when you stop a car, not only will you just stop it, but you're going to search. We are still policemen. There might be firearms, there might be drugs. That is going to be done. But while you're doing that, the soldiers will be guarding us, protecting us, ensuring that there is a full backup. You don't have to worry about our safety, but worrying about searching the people, making sure that there are no drugs, there are no firearms inside the people, and ensuring that people have valid reason to be in the street. But the army, their main presence is to protect us.
It's now 11:20. When are we going to move into the streets? Are we going to wait till midnight? Just paint us a scenario of how things will kick off from this square onwards.
When I leave you, these members here behind me will hit the street. By the time midnight comes, we'll already be in place to ensure that the law is applied to the letter.
And there you have it, Tsepiso, the General Marshal there, telling us what's expected from the troops ahead of that lockdown. Also saying that from this point onwards, it's business unusual. A lockdown is a lockdown. No one will be allowed in the streets. A sentiment echoed by most ministers, but by all authorities, and by President Cyril Ramaphosa as well. Back to you, Tsepiso.
All right, so Gillian, let's talk about you. Where exactly will you be? Will you be traveling with the officers? You mentioned 3 hotspot areas. You spoke about Hillbrow, you spoke about the CBD, and you also spoke about Alexandra.
So, it's a catch-22. You don't really want to go to an area where you won't find any activity. I think the idea is for SABC viewers to see the work that is being done by these soldiers, by these men and women who are taking up the shift 10 till 6 tomorrow morning. We are either going to go to Alexandra or we are going to Hillbrow, but we're definitely moving with these men and women. We're not quite sure yet. It's probably first going to be Hillbrow, and maybe we will move over to Alexandra, seeing that the General had said he's expecting some tavern owners not to adhere to regulations, just to get a sense also if we do go to Hillbrow first, to see how they are going to handle situations where some tavern owners or some citizens are not really adhering to regulations. And as he said, what he's expecting in Alex is just people mulling around like there isn't a lockdown that has just kicked in. So we will probably go to Hillbrow first. Mary Fitzgerald, it's right next to Hillbrow. So we'll start there and we'll just get a sense of how the authorities are, the SANDF that is flanking these men and women here, how they are going to handle those types of scenarios just after midnight. You heard he said that they're likely to move out into those streets in the next few minutes. So we'll definitely be part of that to bring the viewer, that time as it ticks away, just as the lockdown kicks in.
Thanks for that, Gillian. And as you can imagine, the optics, I was just envisioning what she was saying, that the security forces will be rolling in to those hotspots areas.